In this video, we'll be going through Level 2 of the RC Heli Nation Pilot Proficiency Program. The RCHN program is an updated version of the IRCHA program, and Level 2 is for the well-rounded pilot capable of basic flight skills. With that, let's get into it. The constant heading figure of 8 is a hovering maneuver and starts with a takeoff and hover at 2 meters above the landing pad for 5 seconds. Then move the model forward 5 meters before starting the figure of 8. Each circle should be 5 meters in diameter and the tail should stay pointing somewhere behind you. This maneuver builds upon the previous maneuvers in level 1 where the hovering was along straight lines. Here you're having to keep the model traveling at a constant speed and height along a curve, which can be difficult. It's a nice exercise to go back to occasionally as it's great for building a connection between the brain and sticks. As the model reaches the center, you start the second circle to the other side while keeping the tail angle constant and pointing behind you. As an exercise, you could also practice this higher up. It's much harder, but anything slow and more difficult will generally speed up your learning. Once the second circle is complete, come to a stop in the center and hover backwards until you get over the start. Hold for 5 seconds and then land. You can see it's really struggling with the wind, but don't rush it and try to keep it consistent and under control. The second variation of the constant heading figure 8 starts in a similar fashion, but the circles are started in reverse. So take off, hover, and hover forward are the same, but then you reverse and start the 8 coming back towards yourself, tail in. This seems so similar to the first version that it may almost feel like a pointless exercise. However, when you try it, you'll see there are enough differences for it to be worthwhile. The directions and distance away from yourself is enough of a challenge to warrant the inclusion. In regards to the proficiency program itself, you may have noticed Level 1 was IRCHA and RCHN program. But with Level 2, we've switched to just the RCHN version. I've done this as I think the RC Heli Nation program has been updated to a better level, and they've put a lot of thought into this, even including a check sheet that you can take to the field. I've included links to the RCHN and IRCHA PDFs in the description below, and as usual, let me know what you think in the comments. Maneuver 2 is a circuit, and this is a flown maneuver, so you'll fly it with a bit of speed to get the nose down, and the turns should have some bank to them. Start again with a takeoff and 5-second hover before moving forward 10 meters. Then make a 90-degree turn and start ascending to a height of around 20 meters as you fly forward. Now you can perform a 180-degree turn away from the flight line and then parallel to it. Fly past yourself and perform another 180-degree turn towards the flight line and then parallel to it. Reduce speed so that you stop in the center. Now reduce collective and descend to 2 meters before turning 90 degrees to come tail in. Then complete the maneuver by hovering backwards to the start point, hover for 5 seconds and land. The next variation is similar, but with the circuit in the other direction. Although it may feel like Level 2 maneuvers should be worked through quickly, please don't think that you need to rush through them. Each one of these takes a different set of skills, and some of them, like the loops and stall turns, can take months to learn to a satisfactory level. The good news is, once you can do all of these, it will make you a truly rounded pilot, able to complete maneuvers in most wind conditions, and it won't hold you back as you learn more and more complex aerobatics. You'll also find that you'll be able to complete any local model flying certifications with ease, as most of their maneuvers will be covered by this program. The figure of 8 is similar to the circuits, but it makes it a little bit more difficult by having 45-degree nose-in flying and descents. It starts the same as the circuit, where you take off, hover for 5 seconds, and move forward 10 meters before turning 90 degrees and ascending into the circuit. However, here you will turn 225 degrees, so the model comes back across the center line at 45 degrees towards you. Then the model will make another turn of 270 degrees, so it comes at 45 degrees nose in before slowing and stopping in the center. The descent will be at the same nose in angle before rotating and bringing it back to the landing pad, pausing and descending. A required variation of this is with the figure of 8 in the opposite direction. One of the really nice things about the Pilot Proficiency program is that the 7 levels get progressively more difficult as they build upon each other. Once you've learned the basic skill of taking off, hovering and landing, you can start with level 1 and it will take you all the way up to a professional level of flying. This will likely take years, and it's nice to have something like this to keep track. If you add dates to the checklist, you'll be able to look back and see your progression. Even if you don't use the checklist, it's useful to have a list of these maneuvers in order of difficulty, as sometimes pilots plateau and find it difficult to move on, and now you have a list of things to try. The side-in landing is a difficult maneuver to learn and can take some time to do well, but it is a vital skill to have. You have to be able to do this for auto rotations, most certifications and competitions. Here we do a circuit, followed by a descent down to the landing area in front of you. It can be tricky depending on the wind condition, but these are all skills that will pay dividends later. You're looking for a consistent descent angle and reducing speed all the way down. You have to do this from circuits in both directions. This is useful for F3C and especially auto rotations, as you will need to do the maneuvers based upon wind direction. You'll notice pilots who can't do both left and right. They will often do the stop and reverse all the way back to the landing area tail in, or may only auto rotate from one side. This means a downwind auto sometimes, which in general is pretty horrible, so it's worth spending time getting these right. The stationary pirouette is one of my favourite maneuvers for testing pilot skills and practicing. Ideally, you want to do this as slow as you can, at least a 10-second pirouette, which will force you to do corrections during the manoeuvre, rather than spinning through the whole thing. This manoeuvre has been around for a long time, and slow pirouettes are a well-known way of improving pilot skills. They can be extremely hard to do well, and the F3C hovering maneuvers include multiple integrated pirouettes at various heights for judging a pilot's skill. The pirouette should be done both to the left and the right, with very little drift vertically or horizontally. You can see the model is fighting the wind with lots of corrections, but it's not drifting too much and it's not being over-controlled. I've put a link to the pirouette of shame in the description below, in case you feel you really want to test yourself. 4 variations of the stall turn are required for this maneuver. They are mixes of left and right side and a left and right half Piro. Remembering which directions to go can be confusing, so it can be easier to think of them as Piro away from the flight line or towards at the top of the stall. In the British Model Flying Association test, for example, the turns at the top of the stall should both be away from the flight line. But in this case you will do variations of both, towards and away. Exercise number 7 is an inside loop. We're looking for a reasonably sized loop and it needs to be as round as possible. We're also looking for it to be centered in front of you, and the entry and exit heights should be the same. You'll need to do 2 of these, one from the left and one from the right. This is also a really good test of collective control going both ways, as the downwind one will require more aggressive collective to get it to come back over, but it will also require less pitch on the way down to keep the shape and exit height. In conclusion, if you can complete all of these maneuvers of variations to a reasonable level, you can at least call yourself a basic sport pilot. The next level is about becoming an intermediate sport pilot and will include maneuvers with nose-in hovering and landing and some more complex aerobatics. Check the description below for any corrections and updates, and let me know in the comments how your training is going. Until next time, good luck.